Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpey. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business, and I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I am not using, and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live 2 years ago. This is our old neighborhood. As you can see, it's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring up my good friend Ryan Wimpey, and his dog, Odin. This dog has the ability to eat me, so I'm sort of concerned. I'll pass the mic to you. And Odin, you can have your own mic if you want, whatever you want, Odin. Okay, I'm a little bit afraid of Odin.
Hi, I'm Ryan Wimpey.
And I'm Rachel Wimpey, and the name of our business is Tip Top Canine.
Our business is a dog training business. We help people with behavioral issues and teach their dog how to listen. When I was learning to become a dog trainer, we didn't learn anything about internet marketing or advertising or anything at all. Just dog training. And that's what's so great about working with Clay and his team, because they do it all for us.
So that we can focus on our passion, and that's training dogs. Clay and his team here, they're so enthusiastic. Their energy is off the charts. Never a dull moment here at Thrive.
We've been working with Clay and his team for the last 5 months, 2 of which have been our biggest months ever. 1, our biggest gross by 35%. Clay's helped us make anything from brochures to stickers, new business cards, new logos, scripts for phones, script for email, script for text message, scripting for everything.
How I would describe the weekly meetings with Clay and his team are awesome. They're so effective. It's worth every minute. Things get done. We'll ask for things like different flyers, and they're done before our hour is up. So it's just awesome, extremely effective.
If you don't use Clay and his team, you're probably going to be pulling your hair out, or you're going to spend half of your time trying to figure out the online marketing game and producing your own flyers and marketing materials, print materials, all the stuff like that. You're really losing a lot as far as lost productivity and lost time. Not having a professional do it, it has a real sense of urgency and that actually knows what they're doing when you already have something that's your core focus that you already know how to do.
You would also be missing out with all the time and financial freedom that you would have working with Clay and his team.
We would recommend Clay and his team to other business owners because they need to be working on their business, not just trying to figure out the online game, which is complex and changing daily. So no one has a marketing team too. Most people don't. They can't afford one, and their local web guy or a local person that they know probably can't do everything that a whole team and a whole floor of people can do in hours and not just weeks or months. There's a definite sense of urgency with Clay and his team. I used to have to ride other web people, really ride them to get stuff done, and stuff is done so fast here, and there's a real sense of urgency to get it done. It's great.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpey. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I've definitely learned a lot about life design and making sure the business serves you. The goal setting, well, it's not like it's somewhat basic stuff. Making sure we have different goals for every part of your life is super important. Also, the linear workflow. The linear workflow for us in getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls, figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side. Clay is hilarious. I literally laughed so hard that I started having tears yesterday. And we've been learning a lot, which, we've been sitting here, we've been learning a lot, and so the humor definitely helps. It breaks it up. But the content is awesome, off the charts, and it's very interactive. You can raise your hand. It's not like you're just listening to the professor speak, The wizard teaches, but the wizard interacts and he takes questions, so that's awesome. If you're not attending the conference, you're missing about 3/4 to half of your life. You're definitely, it's probably worth a couple $1,000s. So you're missing the thought process of someone that's already started like 9 profitable businesses. So not only is it a lot of good information, but just getting in the thought process of Clay Clark or Dr. Zellner or any of the other coaches, getting in their thought process of how they're starting all these businesses, to me, just that is priceless. That's money. Well, we're definitely not getting upsold here. My wife and I have attended conferences where where it was great information and then they upsold us like half the conference, and I don't want to bang my head into a wall, and she's banging her head into the chair in front of her. It's good information, but we're like, oh my gosh, I want to strangle you. Shut up and go with the presentation that we paid for. And that's not here. There's no upsells or anything, so that's awesome. I hate that. It makes me angry. So glad that's not happening. So the cost of this conference is quite a bit cheaper than business college. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business. And I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I'm not using, and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. I would definitely recommend that people would check out the Thrive 15 conference. The information that you're going to get is just very, very beneficial, and the mindset that you're going to get, that you're going to leave with, is just absolutely worth the price of a little bit of money and a few days worth of your time.
My name is Rachel Wimpey, and I'm originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've learned so much. My head, I feel like, is about to explode. But a lot that I've taken away from it is the working on your business instead of in your business, because I have the tendency to just want to do it all myself. And that's one thing that Clay really teaches, is to have systems in place that you don't have to be there running it, and your business can actually run without you. It's just awesome. It's like a entrepreneur playground. It's amazing here. So it's really awesome. A fun atmosphere, lots of cool stuff, lots of fun quotes. It's just a really cool place to be. Clay's presentation and his style is so different than most. It's been really one-on-one. He takes the time to just kind of answer your questions about your business rather than just a generic answer. He'll personalize it for different people's businesses, because everybody's is different, but at the same time you implement those very same systems that he's discovered throughout all of the businesses he's ran, and it's just a lot of good information, really good presentation. If you don't come, you're just going to be missing out on so much actually applicable, knowledge that's applicable rather than just like, accounting information. Like it's very hands-on. The Thrive 15 conference has been great because there is no real upsell. Like he's not pushing anything down our throats. I've gone with several different, I've gone to different conferences before where my husband and I have been upsold like over and over and over and over again, and they've just been pushing that down our throats, and it's, you know how it is, it's annoying. And so there's none of that here. It's been really nice. Most business conferences are very, very expensive, and to just go and then get upsold again to spend even more money. This one's very affordable. It's definitely worth it. It'll completely change your mindset. It'll change your life. It's definitely worth it. I recommend that people check out the Thrive conference because it'll completely change your mindset about just working your business to actually being a business owner and actually being able to apply all that knowledge that you will learn here. It's going to change your business. It's going to bring you from, where you thought you could go to higher. It's very, you should definitely do it. You should definitely check it out.
I'm Ryan. I'm the founder of Tip Top Canine, and this is my wife,
Rachel, and I'm the co-owner of Tip Top Canine.
I first got started in the dog training business because I had a dog that I could do a million tricks with, and if I opened the front door, he'd run away. So I started looking for an answer, something that would actually work, and that's how we got hooked up doing what we're doing right now.
What excites me about dog training is I get so many calls all the time from people not able to have their family or friends over because their dog is jumping on them or barking at them, whether they're aggressive or just don't have manners. So many times I get calls. They're so fed up, they're not enjoying their dog anymore, and that's what we do. We come in and we get to fix those problems so not only they can enjoy their dog, but also their family and friends can come over and enjoy their dog.
Yeah, exactly. We love seeing people, they have this dog, it's a nuisance, and it goes back to being their best friend. That's why they got the dog in the first place, so they could enjoy it. And if it's totally out of control, they can't. So we love seeing people enjoy their dog, love their dog, being able to have people over again because the dog's terrorizing all their guests. We love seeing people enjoy their dog again.
What Tip Top Canine does that's different from most dog training companies is we actually come out for the first time for only $1. We'll customize our package that will best suit you and your family, your time, your schedule, your budget. And then if you're not happy with the results, we'll actually give your money back.
People should consider using us because first, your first lesson is only $1, which is a no-brainer. You can't lose. Second, they should consider using us because we have guarantees. We guarantee results or your money back. And third, we get exceptional results. We're gonna get tons of control in just a few weeks. We're gonna fix almost all of your behavioral issues in just a few weeks, or your money back. If you're watching the video right now, fill out one of our contact forms. Your first lesson is only $1, and we'll get you scheduled for that $1 lesson.
Or you can call us at 918-991-8634, and we're excited to hear from you.
The location in Southlake, Texas, probably 15 miles from here, where we're at right now. Their biggest month last year was $63,000.
Wow.
See, the cool thing with franchising,
and they started out of their house in the Southlake, Texas. Yeah. Oh, and it's all publicly disclosed, so we have to give everyone an item 19.
Is that on your website at Tip Top Canine?
They can go to tiptopcanine.com and request the information, and I'll send it to them. They just have to be in a non-communist state. They can't send it to the communist states like California, New York.
Okay. Outside of that?
Yeah, outside of that. So, yeah, we have people that did it completely owner-operator. They just want to do it by themselves out of their house. And they're able to do 12 to 18 grand a month gross just by themselves. No real business, just doing it, loving what they're doing.
That is remarkable. Training dogs, doing what
We've
you
had
love.
multiple people leave six-digit incomes, salespeople, mortgage broker, graphic designer to come do it. And it's so rewarding. Like people wake up passionate about what they're doing. It's awesome.
You know, Thrive Nation, years ago, I had a young lady in my office by the name of Kat. And Kat was a graphic designer, and I was working with a client that was training dogs. So if you can picture this, folks, I'm working with a company that's training dogs, and I have an employee by the name of Kat. And Kat asked me, she said, Clay, with this Tip Top Canine business that you're helping to grow and franchise, I'm seeing the growth. I might be interested in opening a Tip Top Canine franchise. And that's kind of how that conversation went is how I can remember, but I wanted to interview the man married to the cat, Adam Stockdahl. Welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Oh, doing great, Clay. Always good to talk to you.
Hey, so can you kind of tell the story of how you first heard about a Tip Top Canine franchise opportunity?
Yeah, that was about 5, 6 years ago. My wife, Kat, talked me into getting a cute little puppy, and that cute little puppy decided to use me as a chew toy. So at the same time, she was working on some marketing materials for Tip Top Canine, the original location in Tulsa. And it wasn't too long after that we hired them to train our own dog. And when Ryan was over, I was very impressed with the services, the company in general. And I actually said to him, and he can verify this, at the consultation, I said, I think I'm in the wrong business. So 6, 7 months later, when I heard through you that they were looking to expand through the franchise model, it wasn't too hard of a decision for me to say, sign me up.
Now, you own the Tip Top Canine franchise. What are the territories that you own at this point, the cities or the territories that you guys have rights to?
Yeah, so we have 4 main service areas, all within the Dallas-Fort Worth area. First one that we opened up about 5 years ago was the South Lake location, South Lake, Texas. Just for you out-of-towners, that is between Dallas and Fort Worth. So you got Fort Worth on the west, you got Dallas on the east. So South Lake is to the north, even though it says south, north of Dallas and Fort Worth in the middle.
And before becoming a Tip Top Canine franchise owner, you were in the mortgage business. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And so my understanding is after, I know you guys asked me a lot of questions about it. I know your wife asked me a lot of questions about it. You guys met with Ryan and Rachel and you decided to move forward. Could you kind of explain what those 6 weeks of hands-on training was like? Because for somebody out there listening right now that's maybe thinking about buying a Tip Top Canine franchise, and they should know, what that experience was like. What were those first 6 weeks of hands-on dog training like?
Yeah, Clay. So Tip Top Canine has a training service that they call Doggy Boot Camp, where they take your dog and train them intensively for several weeks. And then they come back different and better dog. I'd say it's the exact same way, the same process the franchisees go through. It's definitely a boot camp. It is morning to night. It is 6 days a week for about 6 weeks. But by the end of that, you're going to be very comfortable with the training process, and you're going to feel like you are well equipped to go out and start training dogs on your own.
So you did this, and Rachel and Ryan, I mean, I feel like they do a great job training people on how to train dogs, and Ryan does a really good job teaching the sales aspect of it, and you do a great job because you come from a sales background. So you're down there in Texas now, and for somebody out there that's thinking about owning a Tip Top, once you know how to train a dog, and you've paid all the money up front to auto wrap your car and to go to the 6 weeks of training, now you're down in Texas, you're running the business. And I really wanted to identify what you believe to be maybe the 3 or 4 biggest drivers of the growth, because my understanding, I could be wrong, but I think your official title this year is you were the franchise of the year, both this year and last year. Is that accurate?
Out of the years they've been doing the Franchise of the Year award, we won half of them.
Okay.
So we got this past year, then the year before that.
Okay. So you were this year's franchise of the year. What do you believe to be like the 4 things that you have to do on a weekly basis beyond training dogs that allows your location to not only survive, but to thrive?
Yeah. So number one, it just the most important underlying theme in all this is going to be consistency. So the thing that I really loved about the Tip Top Canine model is that you do not have to arrange your own calendar. We have a scheduling center that's going to call and book leads for you and set up your schedule every day. And really half the battle, especially when you're starting out, is just showing up. The dog training world is not on average a super sophisticated crowd. So if you just show up to your appointment, you're already in the top 20% of the dog training world. So showing up, being consistent, being on time, being where you say you're going to be, when you say you're going to be there. That would be the first thing. Second of all is being able to effectively train people. It's one thing, it's a very physically challenging business. You're only going to be able to do so much on your own. You're going to have to hire people. And the faster you train those people, the faster you're going to be able to grow. So one, be consistent, lead by example, do what you say you're going to do. Two is train people. Three is assisting the office with lead generation. There's a lot being taken care of on the back end. We're doing a lot. Clay's team is doing a lot of search engine optimization. The team is booking incoming calls. How you're going to help with that is by going around to places that can refer you dog training, and just once again being consistent with those relationships. So that looks like veterinarians, for example. You're going into veterinarians' offices, you're saying hi, you're doing that for a couple weeks in a row. Then you're asking to sit down with the vet, talk to them about the training, and then you're going to start getting referrals. In just the past week in one of our locations, we got 4 vet referrals. And that's just in one of our 4 locations. So that's a big driver of business. And then, just putting in the time. When you're starting out, it is a pretty grueling schedule. It's 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And if you don't have somebody to help you work in those hours, then those are the hours you're working. So it's by no means easy money, but if you do it right and you approach it with the right mindset, it can be very good money.
Now, what would happen if you stopped doing the group interview every week? And on part 2 of today's show, we're going to talk about the group interview process. What would happen if you stopped doing the weekly group interview?
Yeah, so if we stopped doing the weekly group interview, we would be totally fine for about 2 months. And then we would start having natural turnover. Maybe somebody was good, maybe they're not good anymore. And then if you don't have somebody to replace them, then now you are having to do their job. And if you're doing their job, nobody's doing your job, which is training people. So you're going to find yourself trying to do 2 jobs, and then somebody else is going to drop, and you're doing 3 jobs, and you're just not going to be able to find good people to come in. If you're not doing the group interview, you're going to hire somebody out of desperation. It's going to be the wrong person, and you're just going to exacerbate that turnover problem.
Now, what if you stopped getting Google reviews from your happy customers? I mean, you guys are very consistent at gathering objective reviews from happy customers. What would happen if you stopped getting Google reviews?
Yeah, so there's a very specific type of person that's going to leave a Google review without asking. And those typically are not the people you want leaving Google reviews. So that is what you're going to get by default. So that is gravity. That is pulling you down. Okay. What you need are the rocket boosters of intentionally gathering reviews from your real and happy customers in order to launch you into orbit.
Now, the next is video reviews. You guys do a great job gathering video reviews from your happy customers. And what I've heard from many of the franchisees, because I talk to many of you every week, is that potential buyers will come to you already convinced that Tip Top Canine is the right choice if they've read enough reviews and watched the video reviews. What impact does video reviews play in the business itself?
Yeah, so video reviews just puts a face to the name. We have hundreds and hundreds. I think between our locations, we have over 1,000 5-star Google reviews. And I still get people at a consultation be like, yeah, but do you have any references, right? It's one thing to see a name with a review next to it. It's another name to see the face of somebody talking at you. So the video reviews, it gives you more of that personal feel as somebody's story. You get to see that they're a real person with a real dog that's really trained.
Now, the Dream 100, again, this is where you make a list of your ideal and likely referral sources, dog groomers, veterinarians. What would happen if you never visited the Dream 100 list by default? What would happen?
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of people that are going to find you online on Google. If you get all your reviews and you have good search engine optimization, you're going to dominate the search results. There is a significant portion of your market that just isn't relying on Google for this type of thing. So people really love their dogs. It's a very emotional topic. So with emotional topics, people are talking to their friends, other people they trust. Veterinarians are a big source of trust. So if you are not getting those veterinarian groomer referrals, you're not aligning yourself with these authorities in the space, then those people are just never going to hear about you, because it doesn't even occur to them to go online and search about this, because they're going to ask their vet who to go through.
Now, both you and I are very efficient individuals, so we typically, when we hop on a weekly coaching call, I mean, if it needs to be longer, it's longer, but it's usually like a touch point, like a 10-minute, like let's make sure things are not drifting. How important is it to have somebody like Andrew who's following up every week just to make sure that, you know, videos get uploaded, that the ads are running? How important is that weekly call to keep things running?
Yeah, I mean, there's really no substitute for it. I mean, you check on things you care about, right? And I care about the business, so that's just our time to really make sure we're being accountable for our portion of things. Accountability is a huge part of this, because yeah, it's easy to just get busy and let these things drift over time.
Now, I have worked in the franchise space quite a bit outside of Tip Top Canine. I've worked with brands like OxyFresh or EXP Realty. I've worked with UPS franchises. I've worked with just a lot of them. And what I find is a lot of times there are certain franchise programs that have like a quarterly coaching call. So like you basically talk to your coach once a quarter or once a month. Why do you believe it's an important thing for the culture to have kind of a weekly touch point as opposed to a quarterly or monthly touch point?
Yeah, so I am involved in several businesses, and every business I'm involved in, there is a weekly call, because I would not be involved in a business that did not have a weekly touch point. Especially during the startup phase, it's vital, because if you're doing something wrong, you're going to be able to catch it early and correct it.
You know,
right? So go ahead.
Yeah, you seriously do, like you can, if it's weekly, you can catch it early and correct. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yeah. If you're going off course, it's better to go off course a little bit than a lot.
Now, the other thing I wanted to bring up is I knew your wife very well because she worked in the office, and she knew me because she worked on my payroll. You know, so we had that a friendship there, and also that camaraderie. You were kind of the wild card. I didn't quite know about you, but your wife was like, "No, he's a great guy." And so, but when you're looking into, you know, when we're in my case, I'm looking into selling a franchise to you. I don't want to sell a franchise to somebody that won't put in the work. And on your case, as a buyer, you don't want to buy a franchise system that won't work, you know? So what were some of the decision points that you went through to decide whether buying a Tip Top Canine was right for you?
One thing I definitely wanted, really one of the huge driving factors of the decision for me was the scheduling center at Tip Top Canine. So with me coming from mortgage industry, I was the front line. Somebody had questions, somebody needed to talk to somebody. That was me they were talking to. And it made it difficult to focus on my work because I was just fielding calls all day. With Tip Top Canine, you do have a scheduling center there for you. They're talking to customers, they're collecting payments, they're doing a lot of the day-to-day administrative stuff that would really just take hours out of your day and bog you down. So the fact that we had that at our disposal, already included in the franchise fee, was just absolutely massive.
So, and just kind of recap, and I want to make sure the listeners out there get this if they're thinking about buying a Tip Top Canine. The key drivers to success is, you know, one, you're saying you wouldn't be involved in an organization if it didn't have a weekly call for accountability. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Second is you really, the call center was a big appeal for you. Is that correct? I mean, you knew we wanted to have a call center that handles a lot of that admin.
Oh, huge. Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
3, you got the group interview. 4, you got the Google reviews. 5, you got the video reviews. 6, you got that Dream 100 marketing. And then 7, our team runs the online ads for you to make sure that they're never off and to make sure the retargeting ads are happening. And we're also writing search engine content for you behind the scenes. How valuable is it to do that as opposed to you having to write search engine content every day?
Oh, it would be impossible. It wouldn't get done. I can just tell you, like, there's no world in which myself or really any other franchisee trying to run this kind of business would be able to do that.
And then Andrew is not here, so we can say something nice about him, and we'll see if he watches this show. We'll find out. But Andrew has been on my team for years. I know he loves serving you guys, but how would you describe what it's like to have a person like a point person like Andrew to kind of help you with the account if there's a burning fire?
Yeah, so it's really nice to know that you have somebody that's on your team and is knowledgeable enough, he's seen it before, right? So if you come on, you buy a Tip Top Canine franchise, you're not the first one. The problems, any issues you run into, you're not going to be the first one having these issues. Andrew's seen it before, and he's been able to help other locations through it before. So just having that experience on your side is huge. It just gives you a little bit of peace of mind.
Now, we do have a lot of listeners that are in the Texas area. So, again, what are the cities you cover? If anybody out there is listening has a dog they want to have you guys train?
Yeah, for sure. Pretty much anywhere on the north side of Dallas-Fort Worth. So we've got all of Fort Worth. We've got South Lake, which is kind of between Dallas and Fort Worth. Then we got McKinney and Frisco, which are on the north side of Dallas.
Adam, I really do appreciate you. You've been a great friend, and it's wonderful to see you and your wife thriving. Congratulations again on winning the Franchise of the Year again, and I appreciate your diligence. It's fun to work with you, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, Clay. I'll see you.
Take care. Bye.
Light that spark, Fire Nation. JLD here, and welcome to Entrepreneurs on Fire, brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network with great shows like Business Made Simple. Today, we'll be breaking down the proven processes and systems that you need to implement to build a time and financial freedom creating business. To drop these value bombs, I brought Clay Clark and Ryan Wimpey into EO Fire Studios. Clay is former US SBA Oklahoma Entrepreneur of the Year, founder of several multi-million-dollar businesses, and Amazon best-selling author. And today, Fire Nation, we will be talking about quality leads, getting turnkey marketing systems that will get you those leads. We'll talk about the irresistible offer and scale and grow exponentially once you've nailed that, and then hitting the repeat button, and so much more when we get back from thanking our sponsors. Looking for a place where you can experience live interactions with your audience? Then Speakeasy is for you. I'm loving creating daily content on Speakeasy, and I know you will too. Visit getspeakeasy.com to download the app and go live today. Success Story, hosted by Scott D. Clary, is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. Success Story features Q&A, keynote presentations, and convos on sales, marketing, and more. A recent episode on how to protect your business in times of crisis is a must listen. Listen to Success Story wherever you get your podcasts. Ryan, say what's up to Fire Nation and share something that you believe about becoming successful that most people disagree with.
What is up, Fire Nation? I'm Ryan Wimpey with Tip Top Canine. One thing about being successful, it has absolutely nothing to do with your passion. You may have to put that on hold to create scalable, repeatable systems in order to succeed. Do not focus on the passion.
Well, Fire Nation, you need to be excited about today because as I mentioned in the introduction, we're talking about proven processes, proven systems that will help you build time and financial freedom, creating your business. And it's not just Ryan on the mic, but we have Clay Clark on the mic. And this is actually the first time I've had a guest in my 3,700 episodes crack double digits, because this is Clay's 10th appearance on Entrepreneurs on Fire. So Clay, let's start with you, brother. Fire Nation wants to know where we get quality leads. How can we create turnkey marketing systems that produce quality leads? Brother, take it away.
Well, when I met Ryan Wimpey here of Tip Top Canine, this was a guy who was passionate about dog training, and he really knew how to sell well if he got quality leads. And so if you're listening out there right now and you have a great product or a great service and you just need more quality leads, what we have to do, and I do this with every single client we work with, we have to identify what we call a three-legged marketing stool. What is the most effective way? Not the only way, but what is the most effective way? Not what are all the ways, but what are the three most effective ways to generate leads for your business? And so for Ryan, we identified that search engine optimization was absolutely very important. The second area we discovered is that social media marketing was very important. And the third area that we discovered was this thing called the Dream 100, which Chet Holmes, the best-selling author of a great book called The Ultimate Sales Machine, Chet Holmes, a great author, the late great business consultant. It's called the Dream 100, where Brian needed to get all of the veterinarians, all of the dog groomers in his local areas to refer him. And since we implemented the search engine optimization, domination, the social media marketing, and the Dream 100 system, Tip Top has now grown from one location that was, I would say, maybe doing well to now 17 thriving locations all across America. And I would predict by the end of 2022, we'll probably end the year at 21 to 22 territories.
Wow. I mean, that is intense stuff. Ryan, like when you were going through this, were you like, oh my God, this just totally makes sense. I've been like going a million miles an hour in a million different directions and not getting quality leads. I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm just asking you, was this happening? And how did what Clay really structured for you change things?
Yeah. So as far as the search engine, definitely helped. We had good map reviews, but we weren't doing those other three. I wasn't implementing a Dream 100. We weren't going out and seeing people. And so if I was getting in front of people, I had a sales coach before. Clay's a business coach, and that's why I found him. But I had a sales coach, so sales are doing good, but I only had so many of them, right? So it doesn't matter how good you are if you're not getting enough leads, right?
And one thing I want to also double down on, Fire Nation, that book that Clay talked about, The Ultimate Sales Machine, fantastic. You must read it. In fact, I'm good friends with Chet's daughter, Amanda Holmes, and she just released the updated version of that book with, of course, all of Chet's genius in there with updated to, the 2022 version. So that book just came out. So definitely worth a read in all the different areas. And Clay, I want to talk about irresistible offers. We need to develop an irresistible offer for our first time customers. Why and how do we do this?
Okay, well, first off, if anybody listens right now and you go to thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, that's one irresistible offer, thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, or you can go to tiptopcanine.com. I'm just giving you two examples. And let me throw in a third example. Why don't you go to shawhomes.com, shawhomes.com. So Shaw Homes is a home builder that I've helped to grow from, check this out, from $16 million a year of sales to $170 million in sales. So from 16 million to 170, 10 times, more than 10 times, almost 11 times growth. And we've done that in less than 4 years. Tip Top Canine has gone from one location to 17. And then if you go to thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, you can see that I do these free consultations. And people say, why do you do a free consultation? Well, frankly, it's for my mental health because JLD, you have great listeners who listen to your show and they reach out all the time to want to attend a workshop or they want to schedule one-on-one consulting and they want to see if we're a good fit. And your listeners are wonderful because they're what I call diligent doers. They're people that actually want to pursue their goals and turn their dreams into reality. However, people that don't listen to your show, some people, at 3 a.m. after 3 adult beverages, they fill out the form just to see what happens. Not your listeners, but other people do that. And so what you want to do is you want to make an offer so hot that the super intoxicated guy at 3 a.m. fills out the form and your ideal and likely buyer. So at Tip Top Canine, the first dog training lesson is only $1. Now their average ticket, Ryan, how much is the average ticket if someone decides to hire you?
Right now, it's about $2,200 to $2,800.
So the average customer is spending $2,200 to $2,800 to pay Tip Top Canine to train their dog. But before they decide to commit $2,200 to dog training, they want to see if it's a good fit. So the first lesson is $1. For Shaw Homes, your first consultation is free. Your 3D mock-up of your new home is free. They have all sorts of a free tour, a free interactive experience. That's free. Or in the case of thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, my first consultation is free. So what you're wanting to do, if you're listening right now, you want to think about what's something that you could offer that's so hot, so irresistible, so amazing that you want to try it out. You'd actually be able to modify someone's behavior. Let me give you one more example. I was recently in San Diego, where you're from, JLD. I was in San Diego, and I was not wanting to have a delicious piece of Asian cuisine. I was not thinking to myself, you know what? I want Asian cuisine right now. But I happened to be walking in this mall area and the guy comes out and says, would you like a free sample? And I'm thinking, well, okay. And I tried the sample and it was phenomenal. And then it occurred to me, I think I'm hungry. And I ordered a meal. But that free sample, it was a generous sample now. It was an ample sample that my human mind could handle. It was so good, though, and I'm not kidding. I wasn't thinking about having Asian cuisine, but it was so good it altered my behavior, and it was like a tractor beam from Star Wars, and I couldn't pull out of it. And I'm like, oh, no. Next thing you know, I'm ordering the meal. It was phenomenal. So everybody out there, if you go to your website, think about your business right now, folks. Think about it. What is an offer that you could offer that's so hot, so irresistible that people can simply not resist it?
An ample sample. That is definitely going to become part of my vocabulary. I love it for all the reasons. And once we've figured out getting quality leads, once we've figured out our irresistible offer, how do we scale, Clay? How do we grow exponentially?
Well, the thing with Ryan's business that was challenging is he's sort of a dog genius. You know, he knows how to train a dog and the proper way to train a dog and matriculate and coach up the dog so the dog is well behaved. And then the owner goes, wow, my dog used to eat everything. My dog used to eat my beautiful wife's wedding dress. My dog's eating my shoes. My dog won't stop urinating in the house. My dog's crazy. And then they get the dog back and it's a well-behaved dog. So the question is, how do you build a system so that other people who are not you can learn how to train a dog with the level of quality that Ryan can do? So it became sitting down with Ryan, and I'll let Ryan explain in more detail. And this was the part of the process that I don't think he was passionate about, and that I wasn't passionate about it. But in order to achieve financial freedom and time freedom, we had to turn everything into a checklist, everything into a process. And so we had to grind through the process of building a checklist and a process for everything. And now when somebody buys a Tip Top Canine franchise, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, but I think almost everybody who owns a Tip Top Canine franchise now previously was not a dog trainer.
Oh, every single one of them was not.
So we got like a former mortgage banker who bought a Tip Top Canine franchise, and now he's making more money training dogs than he ever made in the mortgage industry. And that's because the systems are so tight. So Ryan, maybe you could explain what that process was like, because I know it was arduous, it was tedious, but now it's created financial abundance.
Yeah. So like I said, it wasn't my passion. My passion was training dogs, but we took basically a 2-page outline into a 60-page process manual, and then checklists for our boot camps, process and structure and outlines for our private lessons, for our take-home training, the sales script, our call center scripts, literally everything, painstakingly sitting down and just line item by line item creating those scripts for the call center. And the sales was probably the biggest thing, because it took me, or even training my trainers, it used to take me 6 months to do what we do in 6 to 8 weeks now.
So now what's happening here, and this is so powerful, JLD, is there's a book called The Checklist Manifesto that I encourage everyone to read. The Checklist Manifesto is written by Atul Gawande. And what he talks about in that book, and this is wild, okay? He talks about medical professionals that were able to dramatically decrease the amount of deaths in hospitals as a result of following a checklist. He talks about architects. They were able to decrease structural problems as a result of using checklists. He talks about aviation experts, pilots, that were able to decrease the amount of errors they had by following checklists. And he talks about in his book that most people don't like following a checklist. And he writes here, and I'm quoting, he says, "The volume and complexity of what we know has now exceeded our individual ability to deliver its benefits correctly, safely, or reliable without a checklist." He says, "We don't like checklists. They can be painstaking. They're not too much fun. But I don't think the issue here is mere laziness. There's something deeper, more visceral going on when people walk away, not only from saving lives, but from making money. It somehow feels beneath us to use a checklist, an embarrassment. It runs counter to our deeply held beliefs about how the truly great among us, those who we aspire to be like, handle situations of high stakes and complexity. The truly great are supposed to be daring. They improvise. They do not have protocols or checklists." He says, maybe our idea of heroicism needs updating. I just encourage everybody out there, if your business feels stuck, you want to sit down right now, make a list of all the things that you have to do on a daily basis that are, I call it crap, but core, repeatable, actionable processes. It's crap. Core, repeatable, actionable processes. Anything that you do that it's tedious, repetitive tasks, and find a way to make a checklist or a system out of it so that you can teach a new employee, a new hire, or in Ryan's case, a new franchisee how to do it quickly. And in my office, every position we have, JLD, in my offices, we can teach somebody how to do that job in 15 hours or less. And that's my goal. And then the Tip Top Canine franchise, when people go to tiptopcanine.com to learn about buying a Tip Top Canine, from the time that somebody shows up as a mortgage banker with no knowledge of training dogs to the time they leave as an expert dog trainer, I believe, Ryan, it's 6 weeks now?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. So that's what you want to do, is you want to build a system. It's kind of like reverse college. College, no matter what you want to learn, it takes 4 years. In the world of entrepreneurship, you want it to take no longer than 4 hours if you can.
I will say this. I must kind of be a weird person because I love checklists. I love checklists. Listen,
Yes!
I've always loved checklists, and I think there's a reason for it. While you were talking, Clay, I was like, why do I love checklists? I love checklists because I hate having to do something a second time or a third time. I hate doing something wrong and being like, I've got to start back over again. I literally hate that feeling. And so, man, give me a checklist because I will go through step by step by step, and I will be happy the whole time knowing that I'm doing it right the first time. That is so important to me for some reason. In Fire Nation, I hope it becomes important to you, and I hope you stick around because we're dropping value bombs when we get back from thanking our sponsors. We all know how important engagement with our audience is. As creators, finding effective ways to provide value while also being able to interact in real time is a challenge. But now there's Speak Easy. Speak Easy is an app that allows you to organize your own live talk show. It's made by creators for creators and is uniquely built to help you monetize your audience. Whether you use it for live podcasting, show recordings, or hosting premium content people can subscribe to, Speak Easy has you covered. Want to stream private shows for select attendees? You can do that too. All you have to do is download the app, go live, and you'll be connecting with an interactive audience immediately. I'm loving creating daily content on Speakeasy, and I know you're going to love it too. So what are you waiting for? Visit getspeakeasy.com to download the app. Check me out at John Lee Dumas, and let's start rocking Speakeasy together. That's getspeakeasy.com. I look forward to interacting with you, Fire Nation. Feeling connected to your team is a must, but with employees and contractors all over the globe, feeling that connection can be tough. Not to mention the software you use can sometimes make you feel out of sync, like you and the rest of your team aren't on the same page. And when a team is disconnected, your customers pay the price. If the software you're currently using is sharing out-of-date data on your business or your customers, that equals trouble. Or maybe you feel like your software is making it impossible to see the full picture. If that's the case, then listen up. Customers end up bearing the brunt of this disconnection, meaning a great customer experience is lost, sometimes forever. Ready to get your team on the same page? HubSpot transforms everyday conversations, strategic decision-making sessions, and everything in between into moments customers feel good about. With a lovingly crafted suite of tools, you can seamlessly connect your team so everyone has access to the same data, and you're able to focus on what really matters, your customers. Learn how HubSpot can help your business grow better at HubSpot.com. Clay, Ryan, we're back, and I want to talk about hitting the repeat button. This is something that, Clay, you do so well with yourself and with your clients. How can we systemize repeatable success?
Well, what you do, and I'll just give you an example. I want to brag on Ryan's wife for a second. You know, when I first told Ryan and Rachel when they were new clients, I remember it was, and in this meeting, JLD, it always goes over really badly or really great. And it's going to be, it's like we go one way or the other in this meeting. And I tell the clients, I say, now listen, now that we have more leads, now that we have the branding improved, the branding looks great, the website looks great, leads are coming in. Now we need to install call recording. Now, this show's recorded, right? So anybody can listen to the show and they can say, that guest was terrible, or that guest was awesome. But anyway, the audio of this show lives on for a long time. All right. So everybody hears how this show goes. It's one take. We're not editing it. You just hear it as boom. It's live. Boom. So when you're doing calls, though, sales calls, you say, thank you for calling Tip Top Canine. This is Clay. How can I help you? The way that someone answers the phone is a big factor as to whether that customer becomes a customer or not, whether that lead converts into a customer or not. If the person answering the phone sounds sarcastic, unengaged, disengaged, unfocused, if they sound confused, if they sound unaware, uninformed, uneducated, the ideal and likely buyer that you worked so hard to woo and to wow, that lead that you tried to generate becomes a dormant lead, a dead lead, and the lead dies on the vine. So what we had to do is install call recording. I recommend a company called clarityvoice.com, but you can use whoever you want to use. So we put the call recording in place. Then we have to we have to write a script. So the team has to follow a script and the calls have to be recorded. And Ryan's wife, Rachel, she not only insisted that the calls were recorded and she insisted that the team follow the script, but she did it with a spirit of excellence and joy. And now he has an incredible call center. So anybody who owns a Tip Top Canine franchise, they no longer have to answer their own phones at all. And Ryan, maybe you could talk about that process, because most business owners, when you tell them that their team needs to follow a script, and that the calls need to be recorded for quality assurance, most business owners say, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, so it was still every Sunday our office manager listens to recorded phone calls, and then they play them on Monday, right?
Boom.
So as a team, they're going over all the calls to make sure everyone's following the script, and it handles about 98% of all the issues. And then what we did with Clay is we're on like version 17 is to start with every week we come in and be like, hey, this is what broke. Hey, this is what broke. And then after listening to the calls, you could see where they couldn't make it, and then we just kept tweaking that. 17
iterations. So we're on version 17 of the script. And then once we finally set it, we've been able to stick with that consistently.
Yeah.
But early on, we were doing a lot of changes. And now, JLD, the one thing we're working on with Tip Top, which is exciting, is for a variety of reasons, a lot of people are wanting to leave a corporate America. I think a lot of times it's because people listen to great shows like yours, and they start to say, you know what, I want to own my own business. For one reason or another, they're tired of the corporate, compliance, and they feel like they're done working for the big box store. They want to go own their own thing. And so now, Ryan, today, I would say about every week, it seems like you're meeting with somebody who wants to open a Tip Top Canine and trying to figure out if they're a good fit or not. And really, we're scaling the business to a level where financial freedom is now 100%. Ryan and his wife, they now have financial freedom. They now have the time freedom to go back to where we started to now you can focus on your passion. And I believe, Ryan, you just recently purchased some chickens. Am I correct?
Yeah, I did. I bought some chickens.
So now he's pursuing his passion, which is chicken buying.
Do you like fresh eggs? Is that anything to do with
Oh,
it?
love the fresh eggs.
Okay, got it. Okay,
Love
that's
it.
good.
No, we eat like 4 or 5 eggs a day.
So, Clay, you teach entrepreneurs how to create branding that enhances, not diminishes, we're talking enhances perceived value. Tell us more.
Yeah, so we're going to go right now, and everyone to go to shawhomes.com. We're going to go to shawhomes.com. We're going to go to tiptopcanine.com, and we're going to go to oxyfresh.com. These are 3 brands that I work with intimately, so I'm trying to give you some examples here. If you go to oxyfresh.com, oxifresh.com, we just now passed 475 locations. Can I get an amen? Folks, this business went from 1 location to 475 locations. And whether you like the website or not, that's up to you. You go to the website, oxyfresh.com, and if you look at it and go, that is terrible. Well, you know what? You're correct because you're the consumer. And so you as a consumer are going to decide whether to buy or not buy from a business almost instantly. It's the first impression. All right. Then you go to tiptopcanine.com, and you're going to decide whether you're interested or not interested based on that first impression. Another example would be shawhomes.com, the home builder I was telling you about. So what we have to do with branding is we have to understand that branding is simply a perception. So the way I describe branding is a good friend of mine named Michael Levine. He used to be the PR consultant for Nike, for Pizza Hut, for Michael Jordan. Check this out, folks. For George Bush and Bill Clinton. So if you don't like George Bush, you don't like Bill Clinton. Either way, he did both. He worked both sides. And one of the things he told me is he said, Clay, branding is nothing other than gift wrapping. So he said, if you were to give a woman a ring and you gave her the ring and you gave it to her and it was packaged in a Kmart box, no offense to any Kmart employees out there, but if you got on one knee and you said, will you marry me? And you pulled out the Kmart box, a lot of women would go, did you buy my ring at Kmart? Are you kidding me? They would reject the packaging. Now, if you got on the knee, on the one knee, and you got out and you pulled out a ring and you presented it in a Tiffany box, they would go, oh, wow, this is awesome. And there would be an immediate reaction. So what's wild, though, is if you were a very deceitful person, and none of your listeners are, but you had a really, really cheap ring that you bought and you put it in a Tiffany box, most people would perceive the cheap ring in the Tiffany box as having higher value than the ring, even a high quality ring, put it in a Kmart box. So what happens we have to understand is we gift wrap everything as a culture. We gift wrap websites, we gift wrap politicians, we gift wrap musicians and celebrities, and people do judge you based upon the appearance of that first appearance they see. So when we went to tiptopcanine.com, and you'll have to correct me because my memory gets worse over time, but on tiptopcanine.com, I believe we went and we enhanced the website almost immediately.
Yes.
And yellow's your color.
Yellow's our color. Well, actually, we read the logo first.
got business cards, flyers, and then once you got the look, then we started making the website match the look.
We did your logo?
Yeah, you did the logo.
I don't remember that. Okay, so we redid
I had
logo.
an older, like, shieldish thing.
So we did the logo, and then we did an auto wrap for all the vehicles.
Yep, auto wrap, and then all of our sales sheets, our flyers. We got rid of the Word document sheets that I had.
So everything is branded, and it's designed to appeal to your ideal and likely buyers. So if you're listening right now, and you say, I went to oxyfresh.com and I don't like it. The question is, does your ideal and likely buyer like it? You see? So for oxyfresh.com, I want people to fathom this, okay? A man by the name of Jonathan Barnett had a vision to start the world's greenest carpet cleaner. And he had done it. He had created the world's greenest carpet cleaning process. It uses 10 times less water than almost every carpet cleaner in America. However, we needed more ideal and likely buyers because most businesses that fail, by the way, have a great idea or a great product. They just don't sell anything. And if you can't sell, your business goes to hell. So we worked with Jonathan Barnett with oxyfresh.com. We've worked with Ryan with tiptopk9.com. We've worked with shawhomes.com. And all I'm trying to do is make sure that the branding matches the expectations of your ideal and likely buyer. So the question is, when you look at these websites, oxyfresh.com, tiptopk9.com, shawhomes.com, or whatever your business is, I want you to ask yourself this question if you're listening right now. Does your website meet the expectations of your ideal and likely buyer? Does your website, does your branding, does your marketing, does your logo, do your print pieces, do they appeal to your ideal and likely buyer? And right here on my desk right now, I have a business card that was given to me by a guy by the name of Vito Servadio. It's like Servadio. Vito. He gave this to me at a birthday party I was at this week, and he happens to but the business card he gave me was phenomenal. It's like a sharp business card. His company's called Only the Best. It's a firearms company. But this card is hot, And he gave it to me. And right away I go, that is a great looking business card. And it's because it's a metal card. You want to keep it. You want to stick around. Another example would be, think about the packaging of an iPad. Everybody who buys an iPad, they want to keep the packaging of the iPad, and they don't know why. What are we going to use the packaging to re-gift next year? What are we doing? But people always want to keep the Apple packaging because the branding is so good.
Fire Nation, think about that. Think about the power of branding. And I love all the examples that you gave, Clay. And as I'm hearing you talk, I'm going through Tip Top K9. And that, by the way, is the letter K, the number 9. And whose idea was it, Ryan? It might have been yours, to have the dog balancing on top of the fire hydrant.
Yeah, that's mine.
That is so classic. I mean, Fire Nation, it's worth it just going to Tip Top K9.
That's our place command. Is doggy time out. We teach him to go to a box, a chair, a stool, and we'd use the fire hydrant just to show off.
The letter K, the number 9. So Tip Top, the letter K, the number 9.com. Testimonials. And as always, Clay just crushes it with testimonials as well. And I'm looking at all these testimonials you have. I mean, it's literally countless, but I mean, it's like, wow, if there's this many testimonials, this must be the best canine trainer literally in the world. And people go to search engines every single day, Clay, because they want to find solutions to their problems. How do you teach your students to dominate search engine results?
Well, what we do, and by the way, if anybody's listening right now and you go to thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, if you're listening right now, any of your listeners can attend one of our in-person 2-day workshops. And the way I do it, JLD, is I tell people you can pay $250 for a ticket or whatever you want to pay. So somebody could say, I think I'm going to pay $5. I'm going to try it. That's fine. I don't care. Okay. It's the law of reciprocity. So far, everybody who's ever attended our workshops loves it. They go and tell their friends and family. But at the workshops, I do a full multiple hour presentation on how to do this, but I'm going to sum it up into 4 quick points. There's 4 variables that impact your rank on the search engines. Okay. Variable number 1, you have to have a website that is canonically compatible with Google's compliance standards. It has to be canonically compliant, or you would call it Google compliant. Does it adhere to the Google standards? Does it follow their canon of rules? Is it canonically compliant? The second, is it mobile compliant? What? By whose standard? By Google standard. Is your website mobile compliant? The third is whoever has the most original HTML content. Whoever has the most original, relevant HTML content, that's hypertext markup language content, gets to be top for that subject. And 4, it's whoever has the most objective reviews. So I can help a business owner very quickly as part of our consulting program. What I do is I charge people $1,700 a month to grow their business. It's month to month. And with that package, I do include photography, videography, web development, search engine, all those things. But where I make my money, JLD, being very transparent with the listeners, I make a 20% margin with every client I work with. So I make $340 a month per client on average. It's month to month. So I'm not getting rich off that. It's $54,400 a month of profit I generate off the 160 clients. But where I make most of my money is I get a small percentage of the growth. That's where I camp out. That's where I make most of my money, is a small percentage of the growth. That's where I love to be. And so when I work with a client, I tell the client right away, hey, listen, we need to make your website canonically compliant. And I have web developers that work here full time, and they work with the client, and we knock it out right away. Boom. Then I tell them, we need to make it mobile compliant. Boom. But the third area that I cannot do, and that's why I want to brag on Ryan with Tip Top Canine. I want to brag on OxyFresh. I want to brag on ShawHomes.com. I cannot gather objective Google reviews from clients that are not happy. I can't do it. Furthermore, I just can't do it. I cannot write original HTML content for a client unless they either do it themselves or they encourage my staff to do it for them. So I'd say 95% of my clients, JLD, they prefer not to write massive amounts of keyword-rich hypertext markup language content, so they have us write it for them. And then, the Google reviews, that's something that Ryan and his team get. They get video reviews and Google reviews. Ryan, could you kind of explain the process that you use to go about getting those reviews and why you've chosen to have my team write the content for you?
Yeah, as far as choosing you guys to use the content is, we started out writing our own content, and that's not fun.
Soul sucking.
Yeah. So we had a lot of other stuff to do, so that's definitely not worth it, in my opinion. But
Now getting the reviews. What about getting the reviews?
The reviews. First off, we got to wow the client. I got to really bring it when we train their dog, either when we boot camp it and take it and train her to do the lessons.
Yeah.
And then we just ask them. We ask them for a review, and my people, they all get bonuses if they get reviews. They get pretty hefty bonuses.
So you provide a wow, and then you ask for the review.
Yeah, we provide a wow and ask for the review.
Now, I'll say this here, JLD, real quick. I want everyone to look this up. Type in carpet cleaning quotes into Google, folks. Type it in right now, carpet cleaning quotes. Did you know that OxyFresh.com, one of my longtime clients, they're the highest and most reviewed business in America of any type.
Wow, 236,973 reviews.
And someone says, that's hyperbole. Look it up, folks. I'm telling you, I give you facts. That's a big part of the Chet Holmes Ultimate Sales Machine experience, by the way. Big shout out to the Chet Holmes legacy, to his daughter, to anybody connected with that organization. They are the best. But I'm telling you, you got to get those reviews. It's called puffery if you're making stuff up. You want to cite your sources, okay? That's why I give people examples, ample examples that the humans can handle. Also, it's very important to understand this. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, do you know in 2006, that was the first year that a client called me and said, could you help me grow my business? And at that point, JLD, I had built America's largest wedding DJ entertainment company. I had built a massive photography company. I had built a commercial real estate business. I'd been building my own companies. I never wanted to be a marketing consultant, business growth guy. And I remember I had a dentist and an insurance agent. They said, could you help me grow my business? And this, as God is my witness, this dentist tripled the size of his dental practice. And I said, hey, Dr. Lindsay, could you record on video about your growth? Because no one's going to believe it. And he goes, yeah, sure. So I put it up there, thrivetimeshow.com. Then I talked to the insurance agent. I said, hey, no one's going to believe you're Oklahoma's largest insurance agent where you used to struggle. Could you record a video? Boom. So if you look at those videos, as of right now, as of today, we now have over 2,000 client success stories where we have over tripled the size of someone's business. They're all documented. And JLT, that's why I believe that our program is so successful. One, because the current clients know, wow, other people can do it. I can do it too. And the other thing is that people have seen the validators and they know, wow, the proof is in the pudding. Success leaves trails. And it's all documented right there at thrivetimeshow.com.
Fire Nation, thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire. I mean, check it out. He has so much stuff going on there. Ryan and Clay, I mean, I want to end with a bang here. Let's take our time because, I mean, there's just been so many value bombs. I just don't want any to sneak through the cracks here. But let's start with you, Ryan. What is the one major takeaway that you really want Fire Nation to get from everything that we've talked about, from all the value bombs we've dropped? What do you want to make sure our listeners really understand?
Yeah, I would say I want them to really understand that it doesn't matter how good you are at your craft if you don't have repeatable systems and they're not scripted out, you're not going to succeed in replacing yourself. So it doesn't matter how good you are. You just want to job, you don't necessarily own a business. We tripled our income, right, while growing to 17 locations and doing product support and doing a call center and billing support for the locations. So that was in 5 years. So we tripled my location while we're training 17 others. So I couldn't have done that without hard system.
Clay, bring us home. What is it you really want to make sure Fire Nation gets in this conversation? Give us that strong call to action so we can have more success stories from you, Fire Nation. Our listeners, take action.
Well, you got 3 ways that you can get rich that you people always say, can I get rich quick? I could definitely guarantee that somebody can become wealthy if they follow these proven systems. I can do that. And by the way, if you start working at the age of 20, and you want to become a millionaire by the age of 40, you need to save about $175 a day. I know that because I've done the math. Okay, so you need to save $175 a day and then don't die. That would be your stop, drop, and roll, look both ways while crossing traffic, that kind of thing. Okay, but you save $175 a day. But if you want to get wealthier faster, what you want to do is you want to look at the 3 situations. One, you could go out there and open your own business, okay? And that's the thing I specialize in teaching people at thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire. I can teach you how to grow a successful company. So if you have a company, you want to grow it, that's what I do. I'd love to help you. Boom. The first consultation's free. The workshops are interactive. You can learn more. But again, the first consultation is free at thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire. 2, you could buy an existing business model. You would call that franchising or licensing. I gave you 2 examples today, but there's other ones I didn't give you. I mean, you could become a State Farm agent. You could open a Tip Top Canine. You could open up a Domino's Pizza. You could open up an OxyFresh. The reason why I wanted to have Ryan on today's show is he's a client I've worked with for a long time. We've successfully helped him to franchise, and it's pretty awesome what he can do, and it's less than $50,000 to open up a location. And there are some franchises you can look into, like buying a McDonald's is over $2 million today. So, buying a franchise is a great option. You just want to make sure it's affordable for you. And the third thing you can do, and this is something I don't know that I can't do it. You have to be a genius. Now, somebody out there says, I am a genius. That's great. But I'm talking about like Steve Jobs invented, the modern computer systems that we have today. He's a genius. He revolutionized the music industry. He's a genius. Michael Jordan could play basketball in a way that Marvin Gaye could sing. I'm telling, if you're a genius, if you have that supernatural God-given talent where you can sing songs and play basketball and invent stuff, you don't need me, because if you're so great that the world can't ignore you, that right there is awesome. But for the average person like myself, I'll put myself in that category, where you're not the next LeBron James, you're not the next, Oprah, you're not the next Marvin Gaye. You probably need to go back to move 1 or 2. So either you want to grow a proven, learn how to grow a business using proven systems that we teach at thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, or you want to buy a franchise or license an existing system, which you can learn more about at tiptopcanine.com. And again, there's other options too. I mean, State Farm is a great brand. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form. Domino's is a great brand. I mean, there's so many. Jimmy John's is a great brand. What I like about Tip Top, though, is it's $50,000 or less, whereas a lot of the other opportunities that exist in franchising do cost people millions of dollars.
Fire Nation, you can see why Clay has made his 10th appearance on Fire Nation, because he brings the fire, he brings the heat, and he brings the results.
Ryan is a really great salesman, so we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot-coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
If we go back 8 years ago, think about the number of clients you had back then versus the number of clients you have now. As a percentage, what has been the growth over the past 8 years, do you think? We got to inspire somebody out there who just doesn't have the time to listen to their calls.
Okay, so Clay, it's like I would go up and down from about $10,000 a month up to about $40,000, but it's up and down roller coaster. And so now we've got it to where we're in excess of 100 clients.
That's awesome.
And so I would have anywhere from 5 clients to 20 clients on my own with networking, but I had no control over it. I didn't, without the systems, you're going to be victimized by your own business.
For somebody out there who struggles with math, if you, let's say that your average number of clients was 30 and you go to 100, as a percentage, what is that?
I have doubled every year since working with you. So I've doubled in clients, I've doubled in revenue every year. It's 100% growth every year I've worked with. Now, so I'm looking, we've been good friends 7-8 years, and I've got doubled 5 times.
Which is just incredible. I mean, the first time you do it, that's one thing, but when you do it repeatedly,
yeah,
I mean, that's unbelievable.
We're working our Blessed Assurance off this year to double. We're planning on doubling again. We're incorporating some new things in there to really help us do it, but we are going to double again this year. I started coaching, but it would go up and down, Clay. That's when I came to you, as I was going up and down, and I wanted to go up and up instead of up and down. And so that's when it needed a system. So creating a system is you have nailed down specific steps that you're going to take no matter how you feel, no matter the results. You lean into them and you do them regardless of what's happening. You lean into them and it will give you X number of leads. You follow up with those leads, turns into sales. Well, I tell you, it's if you don't have a script and you don't have a system, then every day is a whole new creation. You're creating a lot of energy just to figure out what are you going to do.
Right.
And the best executives, Peter Drucker is a father of modern management. He said, the most effective executives make one decision a year. What you do is you make a decision, what is your system, and then you work like the Dickens to make sure you follow that system. And so that's really what it's all about. So with a script here, we have a brand new gal that just came in working for us. She nailed down the script, and she's been nailing down appointments. Usually we try to get one appointment for every 100 calls. We make 200 to 300 calls a day per rep.
Right.
And she's been nailing down 5 and 8 appointments a day.
Somebody out there's having a hard time.
That script.
So she's making how many calls a day?
She's making between 200 and 300 calls a day.
Whoa. And our relationship is weird in that we do. If someone were to buy an Apple computer today,
Yeah.
And or let's say about a personal computer, a PC. The computer is made by, let's say, Dell, but then the software in the computer would be Microsoft, let's say, or Adobe or whatever that is. So I basically make the systems, and you're like the computer and I'm like the software. It's kind of how I would describe our relationship. Yeah. Tim, I want to ask you this. You and I reconnected. I think it was in the year 2000 and what was it? Maybe 2010. Is that right? 2011, maybe, or no, maybe further down the road. Maybe 2013.
2012.
Okay, so 2012, and at that time I was 5 years removed from the DJ business, and you were how many years removed from tax and accounting software?
It was about 10, 11 years.
We met. How did we re-meet? What was the first interaction? There was some interaction where you and I first connected. I just remember that somehow you and I went to Hideaway Pizza. But do you remember when we first reconnected?
Yeah. Well, we had that speaking thing that.
There it was. So it's Victory Christian Center. I was speaking there.
My name is Robert Redmond. I actually first met Clay almost 3 years ago to the day. I don't know if he remembers it or not, but I wasn't working with him at the time. I asked to see him and just ask him some questions to help, direct my life, to get some mentorship. But I've been working with Clay for now just over a year. The role I play here is a business coach, business consultant. I work with different businesses implementing best practice processes and systems that I have learned here by working with Clay. And the experience working here has, to put it real plainly, has been just life-changing. I have not only learned new things and have gained new knowledge, but I have gained a whole new mindset that I believe wherever I end up will serve me well throughout the rest of my life. Since working with Clay, I have learned so much. I mean, I would like to say almost everything about business in terms of the different categories. I haven't learned it all, but I've learned all about marketing. I've learned about advertising. I've learned about branding. I've learned how to create a sales process for organizations in any industry. I've learned how to sell. I've learned how to create repeatable systems and processes and hold people accountable. How to hire people. It's almost like every aspect of a business you can learn. I have learned a lot in those different categories. And then, again, the mindset that I've gained here has been huge. Working here, you can't be a mediocre person. You are a call to a higher standard of excellence. And then as you're called to that standard here, you begin to see those outcomes in every area of your life, that standard of excellence that you want to implement no matter what you're involved in. I would like to describe the other people that work with Clay are people that are going somewhere with their life. Marshall in the group interview talks about how the best fits for this organization are the people that are goal-oriented. So they're on their own trajectory, and we're on our own trajectory. And the best fits are those people where there can be a mutually beneficial relationship, that as we pursue our goals and we help the business pursue those goals, the business helps us pursue our goals as well. And so I'd say people that are driven, people that want to make something of their lives, people that are goal-oriented, they're focused, and they're committed to overcoming any adversity that may come their way. Clay's passion for helping business owners grow their businesses it's unique in that I don't know if there's anyone else that can be as passionate. Whenever a business starts working with Clay, it's almost as like Clay is running that business in the sense that he has something at stake. He's just serving them. They're one of his clients, but it's as if he is actively involved in the business. Whenever they have a win, he's posting it all over his social media. He's shouting it across the room here at Thrive. He's sending people encouraging messages. He can kind of be that life coach and business coach in terms of being that a motivator and that champion for people's businesses. It's again unique because there's no one else I've seen get so excited about and passionate about other people's businesses. The kind of people that wouldn't like working with Clay are people that are satisfied with mediocrity. People that want to get through life by just doing enough, by just getting by. People who are not looking to develop themselves, people who are not coachable, people who think that they know it all and they're unwilling to change. I would say those are the type of people. In short, anyone that's content with mediocrity would not like working with Clay. So if you're meeting Clay for the first time, the advice I'd give you is definitely come ready to take tons of notes. Every time Clay speaks, he it gives you a wealth of knowledge that you don't want to miss. I remember the first time that I met Clay, I literally carried a notebook with me all around. I was looking at this notebook the other day, actually. I carried a notebook with me all around, and I just took tons of notes. I filled the entire notebook in about 3 or 4 months, just from being around Clay, following him, and learning from him. And then I would say, come coachable. Be open to learning something new. Be open to challenging yourself. Be open to learning and adjusting parts about you that need to be adjusted.